Greetings and salutations, everyone. Welcome back to another episode, starting in the tower. So, before we get on to today's content, I want to talk about what happened last episode. So, as I showed you in that little freeze frame, the boss did drop loot, and luckily I was able to go back and get it. So this is what the boss dropped. It dropped a spike shield, which I guess is a weapon and a shield. Ventium ingots, which seem to be useful for very little useful. Maybe a camel saddle if I want it. A bright steel. We have a smite 2. We have a dusk arc, which honestly I'm not sure. Where did that go? Actually, where did that go? Because it didn't go in the blue skies thing. That went in... Where did it go? I don't see it anywhere. Well, that's concerning, but I already had that. Sneaking without, or invisibility while sneaking. So, moonstone shards, we've seen those. We got the alchemy table, luckily. I don't have to do it again. And the alchemist trophy, which I'm going to put right here. So that's a trophy for defeating the alchemist. And we have the alchemy table, which, among other things, can be used to turn coal or charcoal into coal. And I also made a stacking upgrade, so we have more space in our backpack now. I tested it with a couple stacks, but basically, it's free. So, yep. And I'm sure it can do other more useful things, but for right now, this is what we want it for. Because we can take this coal now, and we can combine it into blocks, and then we can combine those blocks into 7 diamonds. So, 9 stacks of coal became 7 diamonds, which I know is not a lot, but technically diamonds are farmable now. But enough about that, because in my episode prep, I came across 3 things. I came across this fruit, this book, and this paper. Now, I have done more work. We have all but one Tier 1 glyph. And this teaches a random Tier 1 glyph. So the question will be, will it fill in that last one, or will it try and teach me one I already know? It did the last one. So, we have all the Tier 1 glyphs that are possible. We need a rabbit's foot, a netherite ingot, and a dripstone, pointed dripstone, and then we will have all of Tier 2. So, basically, we're almost at maximum mana right now, with the equipment we have. Second, we got this Tome of Void, enigmatic add-ons. Alright, that guy's dead now. This will give us an arcane scroll slot, I assume in our baubles menu? Arcane scroll, there it is. Now, I don't know... Okay, arcane scrolls. We have one that will store experience for us. There's one that will bring our items back. We don't need that. There's one that will give us flight around a beacon. And there's one that will give us flight around anywhere, but not consume experience around a beacon. And these, you can buy. And thirdly, these fruit. These fruit grow on a tree over there, and the great thing about these fruit is A, they can be farmed with grow plant, and B, you can eat them when your hunger is full. So basically, they are an infinite resource to recharge your saturation. It's great, because then in combat, you have this bread, and then you fill up on saturation with the fruit that I cannot pronounce, and I'm not going to try to. But, with that all out of the way, I figured this episode, with all the chaos and pain that happened last time, we would take it a little easier today, and we are going to start exploring the Weinery mod, which basically adds grapes and a way to turn those grapes into a bunch of wine. So, firstly, I have constructed a building. The bottom floor, we're not going to get to today. Bottom floor is going to be the bakery mod that we aren't getting to yet. But the top floor is going to be like a tavern thing for the Vinery mod, which I have built some stairs and like a nice retaining wall up to a vinery I have laid out. So we have plots for grapes, we have plots for trees, and we have locations for bees, which we are also going to get into today. And before we do that, I should let you know I made a magnet ring. That's made like this. So not too hard, but saves me a lot of trouble, especially when I'm farming trees. What are you doing down there? One moment while I despawn those guys real quick. And back. And they're gone. Easy. So, I have gone ahead and prepared everything we're going to need to get this Fracturin Royal Vineyard up and running. So let me start with the white grape seeds. So there are 4 types of seeds in 2 varieties, red and white, as wine does. So let's start with the jungle ones. We can place those. They have to go on a wall, but you can place them on these lattices in order to make them grow faster. The taiga ones have to grow on coarse dirt or podzol, and these ones can hurt you if you touch them. Or not. I thought they could. Apparently not. The savanna ones require sunlight, but that's not a problem because we're above ground. And then the normal ones don't need anything special. So we'll place those down. And just to demonstrate something, we can grow plant on these, or we should be able to. I thought we could. This is weird. I definitely thought we could grow plant on these. Can we grow plant on these ones? Yeah, we can grow plant on these ones. It's weird that it's not working on the jungle lattice ones. But they grow pretty fast anyway. So let's fill this out. And then we will get on to the red grapes, which are basically the same thing. But red. So let's grab the red grapes. We have Savannah, which is going here. We have red grapes, which are going here. We have taiga, which are going here. Do these ones hurt you? Nope. Maybe they only hurt you when they have grapes on them. And then we will grow the red grapes here. Now these are... Yep. When they have grapes on them, they stab you. Okay, just to check something here for my own sanity, let's put it on the wall normally, and then we can grow it. Okay. So, the lattices, while they make the grapes grow faster, means you can't bone meal them. Interesting. But next on the list, we have a apple tree and a cherry tree sapling. And these are simple. They are just going to go right in the center of their plots here, and then we'll grow them. Oh. Don't want any of this here. Get rid of this. Grow the apple tree. Good. Oh, it's big. I'll deal with that in a bit. And grow the cherry tree. Nice. That's more what we wanted. Let's fell this one real quick. Let's grab the utility spellbook. Fell. We don't want this. Sorry. I need to grab another dirt now, apparently. And there's a nice apple tree. So these leaves will grow apples, which we can click on. I don't think we can plant these, so we just have to wait, and then the same thing with the cherry tree. Of course, the first cherry I get. Rotten cherry. Throw. Let's grab a proper cherry. There we go. Nice. Now, this is going to be the complicated one, because the bees... we are going to set up an auto setup, or auto harvesting setup, but first, well, not first, but those have bees in them, 3 bees and 2 bees. We are eventually going to want to breed up enough bees for the whole thing. Where are they? There it is. All my stuff. So I did some testing in creative, and I have come up with a solid system. Bee. That freaked me out for some reason. A solid system for auto-harvesting all the stuff. So we have our dispenser there. We put the glass block here. And then we want block, slab, 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 and then a redstone there. Oh, not there. We want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what this does is it will put out a symbol or a signal proportionate to how many honey ticks are in there. So actually, before we turn this on, I've collected, where is it? Iron to make shears for the dispensers. So I'm going to put one in here for now. And then when I turn this on, it should auto-collect. It did. Awesome. So eventually these are all going to be artificial beehives, but for right now I'm going to stick with the bee nests. So we're going to build 5 more of those, just like that. And actually, while I was building those, I realized I made a mistake. It's 2 on the bottom, 1 there, 2, and then a repeater on top. And that's just to make sure that the dispenser doesn't trigger until it's all 5 signal. Because you don't want it doing early, because then it won't harvest properly. And I also brought these vertical slabs to cover the whole thing with, like this, just for aesthetic purposes, which I will do off camera later. So now that we have all of that, I'm going to take the shears out of here because I have planned for 2 shears and 3, actually, that has to stay in there for right now. I've planned for 2 doing honeycombs and 3 collecting bottles, which is why I have collected 27 stacks of bottles, which I am now going to put in the dispensers. So we bottle up there, we grab some bottles, and now you may be wondering, Flask, there's no collection system on this. How are you planning on collecting all of your honey stuff? And well, the answer is actually quite simple. We're going to use Starbuncle, or a Starbuncle. And it's actually pretty easy to set up, so allow me to do so. I believe I left it in this one. So first we're going to need a bed for the Starbuncle, which I'm going to put right there. And then I'm going to summon the Starbuncle and set it to the bed. Okay. Now comes the fun part. Where are... Oh, right. I need barrels. I would need empty barrels. I'll just grab those for now, because I'll need them in a minute. And then my pickaxe broke while I was mining up, or while I was building those redstone devices. So, 1 there, 1 there. Item frame, honey bottles here, and a honeycomb here. And then we grab the entity, store it here, grab the entity, store it here. Now, it can pick stuff up off the ground, which it's going to do when these drop. But it can also, if we take the entity, take stuff out of... No, wrong. We want position, Starbuncle. Let's clear it. Entity, store here. Entity, store here. Grab this, set to take from here. Grab this, set to take from here. Grab this, set to take from here. And those 3 are going to be the bottles. And it can reach them. I've tested it in creative. So once those start working on bottles, the bottles will pop out of the dispenser as honey, and this thing will pick them up off the ground Though, actually, I might need to take a glass bottle set out so the honey can go in. Okay, I've sort of planned this out. You can see that I've sort of planned this out. So, yeah. Now we kind of just have to wait for more honey to generate, which, in order to generate, we need flowers. So, we're going to place down rows of flowers all along here that the bees can come to and pollinate, like so. Okay, so we'll grab that, in there. So that should be nice and pollinatable for the bees. And I think, other than the covering up the redstone, I think we're done. And just a little bit of time later, we have a functioning bee farm. Now, I did notice the honeycombs sometimes were popping out the back, and the starbuncle couldn't get to them. So I might have to redesign this a little bit. But, in theory, we have honey, cherries, apples, and grapes. Now all we need is some equipment to process them with. So the first thing we need to make is a grape pot, which will allow us to crush, or grapevine pot, which will allow us to crush grapes and apples into usable forms. Next, we are going to get the aging barrel, which is actually used to craft the wine. And then we are finally going to make an apple press, which is used to squeeze, I guess, apples. So the apple press and the grapevine pot are going to go there. The aging barrel is going to go here, back behind the bar. And with that, I think I have a specific wine I want to make today, and in order to make it, we need to crush up some red Savannah grapes. So, if we place these in here, and then we jump, this should be making grape juice. But it's not. Do I maybe need more grapes? Let's see. Let's grab all of this. Oh, I took my magnet ring off for some reason. Need to put it back. Let's see how many grapes we have to put in there in order to actually make grape juice. Like that. There we go. Okay, now can we grab this with bottles? Let's see. No? Magnet ring being a problem immediately, of course. How do I get this? Is it not crushed enough yet? Okay, figured it out. You have to put it in wine bottles, which you make like this. So, wine bottles, let's grab the rest of the grape juice, which turned out to be 2. And now we go to the aging barrel. We throw that in there. And the materials for the wine I want to make today are 2 emeralds. One there. The crafting grid is offset a little bit. I don't know why. But 2 emeralds, and then we place in a wine bottle, and it makes it very quickly. A bottle of Villager's Fright, which will give us the Bad Omen effect. Because next episode, we are going to be taking on a raid in the hopes of getting ourselves a very powerful weapon. But I think this episode has gone on just long enough. So, a little bit of a chiller episode, but stay tuned for next time when we fight a raid to get the Hero of the Village effect for a quest. So, as the stars come out, later.